Hello everybody, welcome back to MoMoVs The Bazaar. Doing a little bit different today. Taking a look at the new upcoming expansion. I think it's set for July 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what I think I see from sources. But we're going to take a look at each class. It's Vanessa and Pig getting some new stuff. I'm not covering the new encounters and stuff that'll probably come with. I really haven't taken a look at too much stuff. This is included. This is a fresh glance for me and maybe for you guys as well. So it's kind of exciting to see. Maybe you plan some stuff out in the head. I'll try to be looking out for like the cool stuff you can do with it for sure. I'm sure there's definitely a ton of neat stuff. So starting off with Vanessa. First item we have here is the bladed hoverboard. It is a medium weapon tech aquatic vehicle. So it has a ton of tags there, which is very good. Already has a great passive. Adjacent items have their cooldowns reduced by 10%, and this is at silver tier. So I imagine it goes up to 15 and 20% respectively. So it's kind of like Star Chart, only instead of giving crit, it has a very powerful effect. These effects are very powerful. When you use an adjacent item, deal 20 damage. So like, you can think of it kind of like a yo-yo without I mean, it still has internal cooldown, but it goes all faster than like even a yo-yo. It's almost like a proboscis trigger. Those passive triggers go off very, very fast. And with a powerful effect like reducing cooldown, it's going to be very good. The first things I really think of when it comes to this is something like dive weights, right? Something that has a ton of multicasting, has a higher cooldown, so the cooldown reduction is going to help. Maybe something like a ballista. I think a recurrent theme here is some ammo stuff is going to be good for this upcoming patch for Vanessa. That's what I'm guessing. I took just a quick glance through, but there's a lot of like damage, burn and slow synergies once again. So that's really cool to see. So that's my thoughts on the bladed hoverboard. I think it's going to be a great item, especially at silver tier. The fact that it has all these tags too. A lot of builds care about, you know, the vehicle tag, and there's not too many great Vanessa items that have it. Like submarine's okay, submersible's okay, but like this is a very powerful effect. Even if you get like 100, 200 damage on this with something that, you know, goes off really, really fast or has a ton of multicasting, it's going to be pretty sweet to see. Yeah, I like this item. So far, excited. I just got to point out, too, the art's amazing. Like, this looks sick. No? Cauterizing blade. Dude, it's got like flamethrower cartridges like up there to the side. Like this is what I'm most hyped for. Like it's cool to get new items, but like the arts are sick. This is so nice to look at. So Vanessa's getting a little quest item. Slow 10 times, haste 10 times. That's like 2 shock blast triggers, right? That item is still cracked. Nonetheless, when you slow, this gains 10 damage and 2 burns worth fight. When you haste, it's the same deal. So like, this is just like a mantis shrimp, but insanely better. I think this one's straightforward. You're gonna want shock glasses. You're gonna want tripwire. You're gonna want, you know, all those slow and haste triggers, especially. This is gonna be a powerful item. Like early on, not so much, unless you roll the shock glass. If you get that, it's a door open, right? Like let's say you have like 7 items on your board. That's 140 damage. And I think my math is like little off. Like 28 burn at a very fast cooldown. Like 5 seconds is pretty fast. And I imagine this number only goes up. Like gold tier, maybe it's plus 4 burn and 20 damage or something. Diamond tier 30, 60 or 6 damage. Who knows? But that's gonna be sweet. 100%. I would almost argue a little power creep, but like I guess it makes sense to be stronger because Mantis Shrimp is a small tier item, and you guys already see how that performs. It's very good early on, very good late game. It doesn't have the aquatic tag, so you're not multicasting with like shipwreck or something. So that's the one thing there. We have Cyber Psy, medium weapon tech item, 10% crit chance, sure. The first 3 times you crit with this item in a fight, prevent all damage you take for the next 1 second. So that is a pretty wild effect. How good do I think this is? I mean, it's certainly something. It's gonna be very conditional. You know, sometimes most Vanessa builds don't like heavy focus crit, not like they used to do. Like game first came out, it was all about flashy reload, kunai, throwing knives, whatever, and reloading those with flashy reload. You just like got infinites, but you don't see those builds nearly as often. Like I haven't seen a flashy reload dedicated build in like a hot minute. Then again, it's also harder to get that skill because it's only available at diamond tier. And the build around up to it is pretty weak until you actually get that flashy reload. That being said, this is not an ammo item. Yeah, I'm not like super sold on this. I think it can be good in certain builds, but it starts at gold tier as you see here with 5 damage at 5 seconds. Like this is a very like reactive item, and it's not like super great compared to like this proactive like you're gonna find this sooner. It's like you're gonna be hard pressed like not to build around this, which is a cool build around. This is unique though, but I will say I do really enjoy the unique effects, and for that, this gets points in my book. And put it on from there. Dart launcher. So here's your first ammo item. Deal 5 damage if this is adjacent to a slow item. Slow. If it's adjacent to a poison item, poison 3. Okay. There's no multicast on this. And the numbers are low, which is fine. You can buff up those numbers, kind of like the other thing. But it's a small tier item. That can slow and poison. So there's not too many slow and poison synergies. It's more like slow and burn, like kind of play off each other, right? You got like lighthouse, you got anglerfish. This is just a bit awkward. That is to say, the wording on this is very interesting. So, if this is adjacent to a slow item, yeah. Okay. So, it's not a ton of slow triggers, truth be told, and it is an ammo item, so you only get so many shots. But if you do happen to want slow and poison, I guess it's okay. I just don't feel like this is making too many cuts. I could be very wrong about all of what I said. It could just be baloney coming out of my mouth, but really, truth be told, I don't see this going crazy. The tech tag is interesting. I don't know if Vanessa really cares about tech tag. You could get some item later on that does, but Vanessa really doesn't. So, yeah, if you care about a ton of slow and poison triggers, it's not going to be it. Anyways, these are always interesting. Like the custom scopes was interesting. It had to get nerfed. So we'll see about this one. A lot of slow synergies though. Item to the right has a 10% crit chance. Sure. When you crit with the item to the right, is slow one item for 1 second. So this is already probably going to be a much better item, at least in my rough estimate, than Dart Launcher. Because if your item is going very fast, critting often, you're going to get a lot of slow triggers. I like it a lot better. This is probably, you know, like even like an anglerfish board. I think an anglerfish board this would be great. As long as your anglerfish has crit. And this is like, the condition of having to crit is a pretty big hoop. When you think about it, right? Like, how often you're getting something to 100% crit. Or even like 60% crit plus where you're critting reliably. It's not the easiest thing to do, right? You could have some skills that give like plus 10% crit or plus 20% crit even. Like a diamond, you know, your weapons can crit skill. And it's going to need a decent bit, you know. You can get Eagle Claws or whatever, Eagle Talismans, give them additional crit chance, but unless you get that Vanessa passive skill that's like at the start of each fight, gain like 2%, 4% crit, that scales up. Getting satisfying to 100% crit is a lot harder than you think. But it's a very powerful effect, and like, just want to point out, something like this probably has a really good enchant too, right? If you could put haste on this, give it turbo, it's like, all right, now you crit, you slow, and haste. And same thing with the bladed hoverboard. This is going to be strong too, I'm pretty sure, because I would assume the enchant's like, you know, if it's heavy or turbo, it's like when you use an adjacent item, slow, haste, very powerful effects. It's you don't see it as often, but I think of the item like figurehead here, right? When you use Jason Item Burn, when you use a Jason Item slow one item for 3 seconds, right? Same thing with like Turbo, which are more reliable than like Icy. But it's the same deal, same deal. Like Obsidian, and then all of a sudden figurehead kind of turns into, this item. So it's going to be very powerful to enchant. Because if you have a build that cares about slow, you put this next to the anglerfish or the lighthouse, and then suddenly you're proccing both of them like pretty fast. So great item to enchant. This will probably be a pretty good item to enchant too. We'll have to see. This one though, it's just gonna be like, yeah, it's a thing. That's my thoughts there. I guess I'm about halfway. All right. Forgive my pronunciation. Kusar Rigama. Do 5 damage, slow 1 item for 1 second. Alright, so it's already grappling hook, but better, right? Power creep. When you slow or crit, this and adjacent weapons gain 5 damage for the fight. So it's interesting that it's slow or crit, because I'm still like in the believer park of, getting a slow trigger is going to be much easier than a crit trigger, just in general. So this will be pretty sweet. Next to the bladed hoverboard, right? And maybe on the other side, you have something that multicasts a ton, and all of a sudden, like, you're scaling up your weapons and dealing tons of damage. So that's going to be a sweet item. You pick it up at silver tier as well, so that's not bad. And, this damage scaling probably goes up. So it's going to be pretty decent, probably mid-game item. It's nice to have slow and damage be a combination on Vanessa. Like, it was... you have the old salty crew, whatever that one friend. It's like when you haste or slow, gain damage. Like, you have that. But all the slow synergies were mostly in burn. Like, you have Mantis Shrimp, you have the Angler Mangler, you got the Lighthouse. So, interesting they're opening up the slow game for Vanessa to do other things, which I do like. Do I think it's super power creep? Yeah, a bit. You have Grappling Hook, which is just like a thing. So, yeah, but all these tech tags, I wonder if, like, there's going to be a thing that cares about tech. But I love the theme. The Oni stuff, like Cyberpunk, Cyberfeeling, that's pretty sweet. When you crit, your burn items gain 3 burn for the fight, and when you slow, charges 2 seconds. So, we're really throwing together crit and burn and slow. We're just putting it all together, which is kind of neat. I feel like a lot of Vanessa boards, here's the one problem with this though, right? I feel like it's going to push all Vanessas to go down the slow burn path, no matter what, right? That's going to be a thing. And if you throw on some crit, your items just get better. Because, like, I got to think of the item pool now, like 10 new items coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 new items coming in. So it's going to, like, really focus Vanessa on doing this burn and slow stuff. And I didn't even talk how strong this is. Honestly, I'm not over the hills with this. When you slow charges too is very powerful. Don't get me wrong. So you're gonna have like Angler Mangler on the board, Oni Mask, and then something in the middle scaling them up. It's just gonna be a little weird. But this can scale up the anglerfish. I think that's probably going to be like... I feel like anglerfish is going to come out on top this meta. So it's definitely interesting to see all these changes. I like this overall, though. Shuriken. This one's wild to me, right? Deal 5 damage, whatever. This has multicast equal to its current ammo. When you use this, spend all its ammo. Like, that's low. Yeah, that's strong. Because it does damage. Like, you compare it to dive weights. Dive weights is held back because it doesn't deal damage. Like, it's still a good item. And I mean, I guess it's a little different though because it's going to use all its ammo, but it's also it's on an 8-second cooldown. So it's a very, very powerful effect. And this may force like a resurgence of the port item, right? Which is an item we haven't seen in a hot minute. But this reloads multiple ammo. Now you would think it'd be good with something with a ramrod, right? When you run out of ammo, charges 1 second, which it would be, but it only reloads 1. It gives crit chance, which is really important for a lot of new Vanessa items, but it only reloads 1. So it's not as good with ramrod as you'd think. Powder flask can at least reload like 3 or 4 ammo. But imagine you get like, which is not easy to do, get some gunpowder on this. You'd be multicasting a ton. So it's cool to see. Maybe resurgence in the port shenanigans, though. You never know. Yeah, ballista's always in the back of my mind. Unfortunately, it's 11-second cooldown, but I think it kind of needs to be. I think if this went lower than like 9 seconds, there'd be a problem. But you could probably buff ballista a little bit, but it's gonna be pretty decent with all these new effects here, like shurikens. This gold tier or bronze tier? I think you can find this on bronze tier. I wonder if like the cooldown's gonna go down or the ammo count's gonna go up. Either way, it's gonna be a wild time as like there's a storm raging outside. This is kind of crazy to me. Anyways, cool item. We'll see where it goes though. Could be total garbage. I don't know, but I think. I mean, shurikens. There's gonna be very bursty builds if you go down the shuriken route with like hoverboard. I don't know, because multicast whatever, you're going to be dealing a ton of damage if you have some flat damage on board or some scaling damage. So that's cool. That's cool. Stealth glider. Look at this guy here. Large vehicle tech item. Your other times 20% crit. Sure. You take no damage for the first 3 seconds of each fight. First time using item, each fight lose all damage reduction. That's wild. Do I like effects like this? Yes. How realistic is this? Like how often are you going to be losing the fight in the first 3 seconds? Like that's the question you got to ask yourself. I don't think it's very high. Like the Bazaar meta is that fast. I feel like give this like a year down the line and it's going to be a stealth glider meta. I don't know. Mark my words. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Could this been done better? Probably. We'll have to really see about that. I'm not totally convinced on this. Like, yeah, crit chance is nice, but let's see. Anyways, going with wetware. When you use a weapon item, this gains 20 shields for the fight. And here's the tech. This is where the tech comes into play. If you use another tech item, reduces items cooldown by 2 seconds. So it's a decent survivability. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I guess they're comparing it to barrel over here. Yeah, I don't know. Like this doesn't have tech though. But the rest we were looking at all have the tech tag. It could be decent, but it's pretty reliant on the tech tag itself. But probably it's gonna be better barrel though, just in general. It's definitely still Vanessa weapon spam kind of deal. Or burn spam. That's kind of how Vanessa felt. It's just gonna be weird going forward though, because like her poison builds are still like decent, but it's gonna be all about burn and slow. I think that's gonna be main gist I'm getting from this. And if you can tech accordingly, you might be able to come out on top. Like maybe coolant, right? Is it coolant? From Dually, where it cleanses half your burn, or ointment's going to be higher and higher of a counterplay, let's say, because so many Vanessas are going to be focused on burn, and the other ones that aren't focused on burn, they're going to be doing damage. So overall, I'm liking how this looks though. There's like a bit of power creep that's like a little obvious here and there. But I think for the most part, it's going to be a pretty solid set. Nothing looks extremely broken right off the gates, so that's like really nice. Like, this seems strong. Does it seem broken? No. No. Um, this is only be broken with enchants, it feels like. We'll see, though. But this is a really nice combination of reducing cooldowns and dealing damage. That's very powerful. And it doesn't care about critting. So I think this is going to be one of the better items coming out. The stuff that's like reliant on critting is going to be really hit or miss, though. So we'll see. Moving right along, that was a pretty decent segment. The Pig toy expansion. This is going to be wild. Yeah, this is just going to be a new way of playing Pig. Premium Piggles. So this is where it all starts. Adjacent small items have their cooldown reduced by 1 second and +5 value during combat. When you win a fight, get a premium Piggle. At the start of each day, upgrade a random premium Piggle. So you know what comes to mind? Like, just immediately. You're dealing with value stuff, reducing cooldowns of stuff. Rice Baller. So this is an item that kind of shocked me that wasn't meta for Pig when investment opportunities come out, because you can get this up to like multicast 6, 7, 8 like pretty easily. Like, imagine you have a full small board with like, you know, tons and tons of value. I think multicast 8, if you include itself, multicast 9, I guess technically you could do multicast 9, but even like multicast 7 is like amazing. So all these new value items on these small items is kind of crazy. The one thing that really holds us back, though, and I didn't realize until I started playing Pig and trying to force burn a little bit more, is he's not offered burn skills. Why is that? That's my one major complaint with Pig right now. And if you're trying to force burn, like, he's got the Steam Ladle, he's got the Luxury Kiosk, he's got a Rice Bowler now, Matchbox, like, give him the burn skill vendor, and like this gets so much better. Because like, imagine a Final Flame on this, like +8, +10 burn or something on a multicast 7 item. Like, seems absurd. The only way you get it, really, the scaling you want with burn, you have to get the temple event and then get the burn reward for at the end of the temple run. So that's my biggest complaint. I know it's not related to this, but anyways. It's gonna be pretty crazy though. Reducing small items cooldowns by 1 second is gonna be very strong. You immediately go like the yo-yo and marble route, but the thing is, yo-yo and marbles, they want items that trigger fast themselves. They don't want to be next to an item that has no activation. So that's the saving grace here. We'll see if like they come up with something crazy. Like, I can imagine there's going to be a build out there where you turn, where the heck is the item? You know, Pen FT into like Obsidian, run it on a Pig drum board, and all of a sudden you're like, you have tons and tons of triggers, because this is going to be a 1 second cooldown weapon if you like put Obsidian or something, right? So something crazy like that's gonna happen. I can already see it happening. The highest likelihood of something being extremely broken here, it's gonna be Pig. Oh, without a doubt. He's just nature of the beast for that. These Piggles are gonna be nuts. So there's a cycle of the premium green Piggles, orange Piggles, red Piggles, yellow Piggles, all that kind of deal. So I think enchanting the Piggles, the premium Piggles, is gonna be nuts. Everyone already sees how strong Atlatl is, right? This is a medium item that has cooldown based how much damage it is. This is gonna be kind of broken. So let's compare this to Atlatl. So 1% cooldown for every 5 damage. Compared to Atlatl, which is like 1% or 2%. Item has 1% cooldown for every 2 damage it has. So like what? 200 damage, this thing goes down to 1 seconds. Or maybe it's 11 seconds now, maybe a little bit more. So this is gonna be 500 damage, and it's gonna be at 1 second. This isn't hard to do. Just thrown out there. You need like a couple of the pig drum triggers. You need um, a big pig's gym proc. Like imagine the pig's gym, right? Hear me out. And it has like, it's not too out of the world to get like 400 damage on it, like 400 value. It's pretty easy to do. There's going to be a 1 second lateral on your board, and you can get multiple of them, right? When you win a fight, get a premium pickle. So it's all RNG, but it's going to be really, really strong. Like, this one's probably going to be the most broken one. It's going to be I think it's going to be hard pressed to, like, scale the burn up on these. I know there's, like, skill, I don't even know there's skills. I know there's going to be items probably here that scale burning, but, like, it's pretty hard to scale burning on these small items. Like, healing, you can scale up. There's skills for that. Burning, there's not. There's no, like, pig skills that help out the orange pickle, so RIP. Add burn support to pig. It's all I'm saying. Just add some support. And then the shield. So, and if you are able to enchant these, it's going to be even more disgusting. Like, it's going to be good. Like, honestly, the best thing you probably do is get, like, burn on the premium red pickle. So then it's, like, just the premium orange pickle, but just better. So that's my thoughts of them. You gotta watch out. They're going to be strong. Not early game. For sure not early game. But I would imagine, I don't know how you, like, does the cooldown go down percentage-wise or the damage? I don't know. It's probably going to be similar to Lattice where they just increase the damage on it. So, definitely interesting to see. Display case. Start of each fight, adjacent items gain 2 value. Use an item with value over 10. So that seems to be a recurring theme, is value over 10 on pigs, similar to Rice Baller. Which isn't that hard to do. You could do it like mid-fight with all these like kind of subpar items that like scale value up. Like a Pen FT. Like that gives 2 value just on a trigger. Like that's like a wasted slot. If you have something like a rewards card in your inventory, especially a diamond tier, you can just give something +4 value out of combat. And that's probably the best way to do it, generally speaking. Because otherwise you don't want to run like Subscraper to just give value. So, yeah, this probably is pretty strong with like enchants and stuff. You got like, your pickles going off super fast. But if you have like 1 second pickles with this on your board, you're going to town. You're definitely going to town. It's going to be sweet. Money Furnace. Burn equal to this item's value. So it's another luxury kiosk. At the start of each fight, spend 5 gold to increase this thing's value by 3. This is your only property that has double value. Not sold in this. The 10-second cooldown. I know they added scaling like mid-fight. Like there's a lot of scaling mid-fight support. But like people aren't even running this. Right? Burn equal to this item's value. So it's the same deal. You can scale this outside of combat too. That's the crazy part. Like 1 property at like diamond tier and you get 9 burn. And people are still not using it. This is kind of a reliable way. Like you don't have to just buy and sell properties to scale this thing up like you do here. But like two properties at diamond tier. And I guess this is only bronze tier. So we'll have to see. If this goes down to like 9, 8, 7, 6 at diamond tier, maybe 6 seconds. Might be better than this. But it's and also it can gain double value in combat. That is a powerful feature though. So you can't use it with like Subscraper. But if you're just using rewards cards on this over the course of each day, I guess that is a lot of value. I'm just not super sold on this. This is like a very big commitment to do early on. Like you can find a bronze tier and like go down the rabbit hole, but I think it's gonna be a bit too slow. We'll see how the upgrade path goes. It probably goes down to 6 seconds, and then like you can consider using it, right? So interesting. Get another large property item here. It just all scales all your stuff, gains damage, shields, heal, and burn. So this is what I'm talking about. There's no burn skill to increase the burn of that piggle, the premium orange piggle. However, you have this item. Um, and I guess the idea is if they all go down to 1 second cooldowns, you're going to be seeing toy pickle stuff go off like crazy. Like, if you like like number go up and that like appeals to you, this is going to be your expansion. It's going to be very satisfying watching all your stuff get scaled up mid combat. I think we just have to wait and see how strong this is. I mean, Pickle Storm Bob seems like it can be okay. It's like a reliable way to scale up Bob. That's cool. And then in turn Bob, because it says friend too, which the friend tag is pretty relevant. It's probably just Bob. Though the bird, I guess the Watashi bird or whatever, this would be multicast 2 already. So you have to be on the lookout for that. But it's mainly probably going to be the pickles that you're trying to scale up a lot. So could be neat. I think it's. I really gotta see with this. Like, how crazy is this? Maybe with some enchants, it just gets like stupid broken. So we'll see. Your pickle board. When you use a toy, charge another toy. There you go. So you had the other one that's like when you use a toy, charge a non-toy. This might just break the game. I don't know. Because if you have 1 second pickles going off, you have this on board, then you have the pickle storm house. Like, ideal's board setup is probably like pickles board, storm house. That's 5 item slots. You could have one of each premium pickle. And if you need to lower their cooldowns, you throw the premium pickles themselves on. And you're going to have a disgustingly good board. To say the least. I think once you get there in terms of scaling damage and burn and all that, it's gonna be good. It'd be good. The pickle launchers, when you use a toy, charges 1 second. So I don't even know if you're gonna need this. Like, yes, this gets totally scaled up by this. And I guess maybe ideal board you run. So this is 6 slots. You know, between this, 8 slots. But like, you can't run both of these unless you, I don't know. You can have two. You have 2 pickles to run on board with the pickle launcher. It's gonna be a little weird, and it's not a toy itself. So this doesn't even charge it. These just charge pickles themselves. And this is in conjunction with like yo-yo already. It's gonna be good. Like, I totally forgot like yo-yo's an item. Yo-yo's an item that's already just like charge instantly, and then your pickles going off of 1 second with yo-yos is going to be like crazy powerful. So we have to look at this in time. Pickles Protector, double shield. When used in adjacent toy, this gains 2 shields for fight. This is a non-item to me. I could be wrong. This can scale up and do a lot of shielding. Shouldn't be relevant. Sponsors apparel. That was quick. That was really quick for that, by the way. But I don't think I need to pay attention to that. I could be wrong. Maybe if you like throw a crazy enchant on this, like damage equal to its shield, maybe it's gonna be good. It doesn't scale up. It only scales itself up. It doesn't scale up the surrounding toys or pickles. For each fight, if this is in play, spend 8 gold to increase the value of all your items by 1. So that's kind of nice. When you use a toy, shield equal to 1 times the toy's value. So this is probably going to be I think with a big sub scraper, this could provide a ton of protection. Like, this is going to be much better at protecting you than this. Again, this is a small item slot. This is a medium. So you run sub scraper this, that's 5 item slots. And then a whole bunch of toys. And then suddenly you have a ton of survivability. I know sub scraper already gives you like a big heal. It's kind of neat. I like this, though. It gives some option to scale during the PvE fights. Like, you're probably not going to run this on your board. But this is 8 gold. Like, yeah, it's a powerful effect, but 8 gold is a hefty price. Not for pig, though. If you get an early money tree, you don't got to worry about gold. God gives you an outlet, even, to spend your gold. But as you upgrade this item's going to become very good, I think. It's probably increase all your items' value by like 3 at diamond tier. So, you know, could be neat. And then like your money makes you money. Lastly, no. Yeah, lastly, I think, or no, we have a couple. Give your toys double value during combat. Toys have crit chance equal to 1 times their value. It's just probably gonna be a dead item, if I'm being honest. Like, really don't care about value that much. Like, some do, but none of these say anything about value. This is the only thing that says anything about value. These premium pickles don't care about value. +5 value during combat. Yeah, like, the only thing that cares about value is like some of the protection stuff. So it's a little like not proactively winning, but the reactively defensive, shielding and stuff. And again, like shielding could be very good with the Vanessa set coming out. This feels like this kind of counters it, does it not? Gain a ton of shielding to stop damage and burn. That's what Pickles is doing here. So there's gonna be quite the war, Pigs versus Vanessas, I think, coming up in this meta. But last but not least, here we go. Large property. Your toys have multicast 1. At start of each day, get a random toy. This guy has to be not hot nerfed. Like there's no way. You're telling me you're giving a silver tier item multicast on toys? So the restriction with model ship, right? Why it's not insanely broken, like it's strong, but it's only adjacent toys get multicast. Now you're telling us you're gonna give not only toys multicasting no matter where they are on the board. Additionally, like just a yo-yo multicasting just like is a vile thought in my head. This is gonna be a hot mess, I think, on launch. You're gonna get a random toy. So you're telling me there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance to get double yo-yos. Like, that's gonna be common. That's gonna be more common than you think. I know they nerfed. Hear me out. There's one saving grace. Supposedly, all the items that give you a random item, like Port gives you random ammo items from any class, right? Small one. Fishing rod gives you a small aquatic item at the start of each day. Supposedly, they decrease your odds of getting multiples, but it still happens. It happens more often than I think. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere in a patch note. Correct me if I'm wrong. But not looking forward to double yo-yo. I tell you that much. So this is gonna be a crazy. And then you can give yo-yos triple cast with model ships still. So like that's a thing. That's a thing. So this covers a good little yap session, 38 minutes of upcoming items. I would say Vanessa looks a lot more fair compared to Pickles. But the thing is, like, some of these are going to do absolutely nothing until they do stuff, right? That's what you're going to see. It's still going to be the late game Pig Menace. But until then, these are, like, pretty weak items when you think about it, right? Like, this is disgusting. Like, this doesn't do anything until day whatever. So, same here. Like, it's some scaling. And, like, is it better in Showcase? Not really early on. And it's so constricted to toys. So we'll see. But getting like double wand or something, that's cool. That's going to be crazy. Like multicasting a wand, you're going infinite somewhere. I'm telling you right now. It's happening. Like, hear me out. Like a board that has wand. Let's pull that item up. Can we like build an infinite right now? A wand. It is a toy. So you can only find it Mythkeeper and Lich. Charge things 2 seconds, right? Multicast, 2 wands. Goes down to 4 seconds, right? So that already is great. And then icing on the cake. Here we go. Ready. Chase small items have the cooldowns reduced by 1 second. So it's near infinite if you have double wand already. Your entire board, basically. This is going to be one hell of a time to be alive. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you got this far, you like this type of content, it's coming out. I was pretty hyped about this. I really want to get a video out because I was more curious. I really didn't take a look at. I went into like a fresh pair of eyes into last patch, which was cool. But now I want to like prepare myself for this one. I want to see the difference and stuff. So, and without further ado, like, subscribe, that sort of good stuff. If you feel like it, if not, thanks for hanging out. MoMoVs The Bazaar. Until next one. Take care.